Hi everyone, welcome to Amaranth. These are general messages for the collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter placements. Let's get into it. One more thing I wanted to add before we get started here is that I will pick up on the energies of the cards based on the surrounding cards. And the meanings will come through differently every time based on the other cards that are there in the reading. And I get asked this a lot, like how come the meaning of the card is changing? Because the surrounding cards are changing. And I will periodically explain to you why I say what I say, because of the energies of the cards that are there in the reading at that point in time. And I also give you references to the energies that are picked up on the prior cards, and that will affect the meaning of the cards that come after that. So I just wanted to put it out there so that you're mindful of which cards are paired up in the reading. Now, let's get to it. So the first card you have, Taurus, is Inflexible. It says change. It further says you or the person involved are set in ways that are impeding growth. Be more open-minded and see the other person's point of view to expand your perspective in a healthy way. Oftentimes, being too rigid masks the problem that causes imbalance and unrest. Flexibility is needed to create flow. So Taurus, now you're just being the Taurus that you are born as, right? Taurus energy is second house, very earthy, very grounded, very rigid. You know, you're like the bull. You actually are the bulls, right? Of the zodiac, where you keep doing your thing. You're not bothered by the world. You don't want to change, but you're a little resistant to change. And for all the Tauruses that I have known, yes, they are resistant to change. They hold on to things for way too long. But I feel that this energy is actually encouraging you to be more flexible, to adapt to the changes. Let me read further over here. It says, this energy is an invitation to master the art of graceful surrender. Your stability is one of your greatest gifts, but it must be a living, breathing stability, like a mountain that evolves over millennia, not a brick wall that crumbles at the first tremor. Yeah, so flexible grounds, flexible attitude, like being open to learning, being open to understanding things, catching up with what's new, what's not saying you follow the trend, but at least get caught up with all the trends. Things are changing so fast these days, whether it's technology, whether it's, the general processes, the systems, everything's changing so fast. Social media is changing so fast. So we need to catch up with that. It's not about abandoning what you know or abandoning your values. But it's like, building upon them or building a foundation that can actually go the distance, that can survive the ups and downs of time, of different eras. Now, it further says over here, the most secure thing you can do is to learn to flow. Let go of the branch you are clinging to. Trust that the river knows where it's going, and you will find yourself in a more abundant and beautiful landscape than you could ever have imagined while holding on. Your evolution is not a threat to your security. It is the key to its longevity. So, Taurus, I feel that you are very comfortable where you are. You're in your comfort zone. And of course, when you have to learn new skills, upskill, move to different positions, maybe you got promoted and you didn't want to. That's possible too. Because you're comfortable, you have to now adjust to new teams, new people, learn new tools, software, and things like that, and you're not really in the mood for it. So that could be the case for some of you. Now, some of you might be opposing the idea of change. Maybe you're working for a company where people are like, oh, you know what, let's get new technology, let's change this, that, and the third. And you're like, why? Everything's working fine. That's not the point. The point is that, systems need to be upgraded so that they're robust, so that they can scale up, so that time taken is less. And of course, who doesn't want evolution? If everybody was to be, comfortable with their comfort zone, then we would not have seen the kind of growth that we are seeing today. So, evolving is not an option these days. It is a must. It's a must have. So don't be your stubborn self, Taurus. Don't be resistant to newer ideas, new technology. Be open to newer thoughts, newer perspectives, because otherwise, things might shake in your world. Now, I'm not saying things will shake or you will be not promoted or you will be moved or you will be sidetracked or sidelined. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying that you need to move on. You need to move with the world so that you don't become a dinosaur. And yes, it's not easy. It takes time. It is a little frustrating because you have to learn, you have to upscale, you have to move with the world. And some of you might be not interested in doing that. It just depends, Sometimes younger people, and it doesn't depend actually on the age. Sometimes younger people are more resistant than the ones that are open to change, no matter what age you are in. So, it could be that some of you are like, I've seen Tauruses that even hold on to brands. It's like, for example, I'm just saying this as an example. Like maybe a favorite dad of yours has discontinued and now you're sitting there grumbling. But let me tell you, if something got discontinued, there is something out there which you would really like. It's just that you aren't going out there and discovering it. So take a moment, move out of your chair, your couch, your home, and try something new. Maybe it'll just change your mood. If you go out there, if you just explore, experiment, you might just like it better. It's just that you don't know yet how you're going to take to it. But I promise you that things might feel better if you just give it that try. Now, for some of you, there actually are systems that are waiting for you to explore, It's like I do feel some of you are still hung up with old technology, old style, old ways of doing things, like old school. Try, move out of your comfort zone. Some of you might be, experiencing this in your relations as well. Like, maybe you're coupled and you're not understanding each other's perspective. Others inflexible, ready to understand where the person's coming from. And that, kind of swings thing a little bit in the not so great direction. Now, this could be in any area of your life. You could be inflexible, whether it's related to your work. Maybe at home you're inflexible, like, with your routine or with the way you cook. Maybe you're not open to trying new recipes. You're not open to new cuisines or something like that could be going on at the home front as well. Now, for those of you that are in sports, this is actually a warning to you. Like there are so many new approaches that have been tried and tested and are proving successful. It's just that you haven't adapted to it. And, it gets really painful, especially with, there are new people that are coming, and new coaches, new gen coaches, new age coaches that are trying different approaches here. And the newer players that are getting trained in different sports, they're actually using those new age approaches. And if you have been rigid to adapting to those new trends, then sometimes we get outsmarted, even on the playing field, like whether it's in any kind of sport. So there is an upgrade which is waiting for you, Taurus. It is, something that you actually need to do it. So give yourself a little bit push in that direction, For some of you, this could be, some of you could actually be working in heritage sites is what I'm picking up, like how those historical buildings, they have a heritage status for the historians out there. And, because of the heritage status, those buildings cannot be modified, in order to meet the standards that are there today for safety, for accessibility, whatever that is. And because they have that protected status, it's an inflexible status because, yeah, everybody wants to preserve history. but you're not open to making those modern safety changes. And that is actually doom and gloom for those heritage sites, right? How are they going to survive in the future if, they're preserved that place? The buildings and monuments are aging. And then if the safety standards are not there, people will stop visiting. And then, the heritage site gets kind of, in a state of crisis. Now that goes for the homes as well, because I was reading, I was reading it a few days back that the sea levels are rising. And, especially for those people who are living at the coastal communities, some of them, they don't even care that the sea levels are rising. They don't even understand the repercussions of it. So they're just building those walls. And the thing about it is that when a storm comes, those walls will not be able to help. So, it was a cause of concern. It is a cause of concern for the government as well, government and those cities, because it could bring in a lot of damage to those homes and properties that are around the coastal area, especially with the rising sea levels. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but while reading that article, I actually thought about that, how things are a little stubborn in those coastal communities. I mean, I understand, people are attached to their homes and they like being out there in the communities. They don't want to relocate and things like that. But then, it's kind of a catch-22 situation is what I thought when I was reading that article. Like, people are inflexible that ways. Now, the energy I'm picking up, Taurus, for you is that somebody out there is using like a really beaten phone, like a really old mobile phone. And you don't want to upgrade to a newer phone model because your old phone is still working. And let me tell you that phone is not healthy for you by no means, because, the way technology is today, they have good chips, they have safety mechanisms in the phone as well. So, things could break down, especially not just with phones. Surely I'm picking up the energy of a broken old phone, and a Taurian is not willing to give that up for whatever reasons. But that could apply to any of the old appliances as well. There are new appliances that serve so many other functions that are more better looking. So if you want, you can try and upgrade that as well. And the same goes for cars as well. I'm picking up an energy of old cars. Some Tauruses out there are really driving old cars, not maintaining it, and it could break down. I already picked up that energy in the very beginning. So, but don't be so rigid with those kind of things, especially with your health, with your car, with your devices, technology, and all of that. It's a great idea. I'm not saying you have to choose every trend or every new device out there, but at least upgrade to what is acceptable, in terms of operating standards and safety standards and things like that. It's like, for those of you who are interested in watching a movie around this energy, there is a Devil Wears Prada movie. So the holidays are coming. Catch up with this energy, and you really enjoy that comic movie where the lady over there, Andy, it has been forced because she works for the fashion industry, high fashion, and she has been forced to change her ways, her ethics, her attitude, just to survive what that industry brings to her life. And it just cracks her open. Her old ways are gone, and she becomes that new confident woman, and she likes it. So check out The Devil Wears Prada if you have not seen that movie. It's very relevant to this energy. Now, some of you, the energy I'm picking up, Taurus, is that you are, you need to leave your home because of a work commitment or a school commitment or something else. And, you don't want to leave that home. But then, it's like you're forced to move because either your job demands it or, maybe the home itself needs to be renovated or something like that. But you're not liking, definitely picking up an energy of Taurus who's unhappy with that kind of office situation. And if you need to change your job, change it. If you feel that your current job is no longer giving you that, finances, or is no longer stable, but you just think that because it's familiar and comfortable, you need to think about that as well. And I also feel that some of you need to make, move around a little bit more. I feel that I'm picking up energies of Tauruses who are exercising a little less. Literally, you need to bring in some kind of yoga or Tai Chi so as to bring more flexibility in your own body itself. So I'm picking up an energy of Taurus who's having some kind of body pains, is unable to move, not as flexible as they were before. So bring in some, physical movement exercises or strengthening exercises or something like yoga and Tai Chi in order to become more flexible physically. The next card you have, Taurus, is Jupiter Vortex. So this is the Jupiter energy is all about growth, expansion, fortune changing, blessings. Jupiter is known as the benefic planet. So, and is the ruler of 9th house Sagittarius, also the ruler of 12th house Pisces. So you might have Sagittarius or Pisces in your chart, doesn't have to be. Well, check where Jupiter is in your birth chart. You will experience the expansion in that area because Jupiter takes 12 years to get around the sun and it spends like about a year in every house. So depending on where your Jupiter placements are in your birth chart, you will see the expansion in that specific area. But in general, Jupiter Vortex is about new opportunities, growth. Let me read what's written here. It says, this is a cosmic green light. The universe is not just nodding in your direction, it is throwing a parade in your honor. Your grounded nature is the perfect anchor for this incredible wave of abundance. Don't just watch it pass by. Wait in and let it lift you to new heights. Yeah, so you'll, when Jupiter energy is up there, you'll see a lot of coincidences, synchronicities, which we feel is coincidence, but it's just because the universe is meeting you in the middle. The efforts that you have put in the past is now ready to be harvested. Let me read further. It says, invest in your dreams, say yes to the big opportunities, and trust that your practical efforts are now being multiplied by the magic of divine timing. So, absolutely, Taurus, you will be seeing a lot of opportunities, a lot of doors open, and it could be in any area of your life. Like I said, depending on where Jupiter is, you could either, if it's in your 11th house, for example, you will experience working on more technologies, growth in your desire to work for maybe humanitarian areas. You might work more, or you might expand your social circle, meet new people that you vibe with, or, Jupiter energy in general is about receiving blessings, whether it's in the form of kids, maybe at your work you receive some bonus check, or, some kind of gift money, people come and give you a nice piece of decor or something like that. Or maybe you're invited to events that you never thought you would get called to. But 9th house energy, which is Sagittarian energy, and that's the house that Jupiter rules, that and the 12th house, and I'll get to that in a bit. It's just about having that faith that things are working out as it should be, and it's for your highest good. So you might experience like more travel, more adventure. You might be feeling more adventurous. You might be trying out new different things. Or in general, it's gifts, not just receiving, but you could be giving gifts as well. Feeling more large-hearted, more generous towards other people. This is also about welcoming blessings in, your health. For example, if your Jupiter is placed in your house in the 6th house, so you will experience more healthy lifestyle, more focus on your well-being, eating good, exercising well, sleeping well, feeling your mood being elevated, feeling more optimistic about things, feeling more confident in your own self. So those are the areas that Jupiter will bless you with. Now, be mindful, there's a caveat to it as well, because you might feel overindulgent, like overspending because you received your bonus or because you received a check from somewhere. So don't splurge. Don't overeat as well, because when Jupiter is there, it can expand your waistline as well. So just a word of caution. Now, some of you, I feel, with this energy I'm picking up, that you will get rewarded at your workplace. You might get recognized. You might get praised by your peers or by your management or by somebody at a really influential position in your place of work. And that person will probably assign you to another task or another project or a new opportunity that you never thought would land in your lap, something like that. Now, for some of you, this could be just, blessings are in small ways as well, small things as well. Like, for example, if you've been meaning to go to a concert and you don't have the tickets for it, it's a sold out concert, but you land a ticket for yourself or your partner as well. So this last minute, you receive a ticket. So that's a blessing as well. Now, for some of you, you might be getting some offers that you get, like maybe you're shopping and you find something that you really like at a discounted price, or buy one, get one off. Or maybe you're at a bakery and you get a free dish, something like that. So these are the small blessings as well that Jupiter will leave for you. Now, some of you will be probably breaking records. Now, breaking records doesn't mean, you could be breaking somebody else's records, like maybe the breaking records, like in the sense that maybe you're a musician and you release an album, and then that is, it breaks all records of the past. Or maybe you create, maybe you're a creative director, you make a movie or a show, and that just breaks all records. Or maybe maybe it's you, maybe you're a model and you get the highest pay in the industry. You break all records of payments in the fashion world, something like that. Or you could be breaking records in the sports as well. Maybe you're the highest, you run, you complete a race at good speed and you break all records over there. Who knows? It could be anything, in any area of your life. Now, I'm also picking up your real estate prices going up because something positive happened, like some development media plaza got constructed or something which is, which is very glamorous got constructed near your house, and your property value increased in an area which you never thought would happen. Now, some of you might go to places that you have been saving up for, because Jupiter energy is about growth and expansion. So somewhere maybe you have like a, what is that called, that money bank, the piggy bank. Maybe you've been saving, and now you have so much money that you can buy a big ticket item, something like that. And you and forgot, like you were putting money, then you forgot to check how much has been accumulated. When you open the piggy bank, you find a lump sum amount that can buy you a big ticket item. It could be something like that as well. Or maybe you just participated in a, what do you call that? What are those, sweepstakes or something like that? And you won something for real. I don't believe in sweepstakes and I never won anything till date, but maybe you will, Taurus, with this energy out here. Or maybe you will land a dream job that you never thought would be offered to you. And maybe you get a pay higher, even though you might not feel like you're the right candidate or have the right skills for it, but still you get offered a job which is in a great company with a great pay that you never imagined. For some of you, this is growth in your own personal businesses. For those of you that are self-employed, you might see some growth in clients, growth in sales, products, and things like that. Maybe you were not expecting that kind of growth. Maybe you just started and now you suddenly see some growth out there, more clients, more praise for your products. Or maybe you're just going back to school to upskill, to learn new skills, and you will find value. When you value add to your resume and things like that, you will find growth and expansion in your area of focus, because you learned something, you applied, and you're ready for taking up new responsibilities that definitely brings in more money. So it could be in that way as well. You might be hearing some news of growth and expansion around you. Maybe countries investing in some areas where they will, maybe growth of a city, growth of a neighborhood, maybe growth in, they're investing into, maybe banks, or they're investing into, infrastructure, and you see growth in your city. You find more highways, freeways, more roadways constructed around you. So that could be for some of you as well. Now, this Jupiter vortex, it has the glyph of fire. It has the glyph of air. Now, fire is a force, the heat, the energy, the enthusiasm. And of course, with Jupiter in picture, it's the big picture, right? It's the vision. It's the broad vision that we have. That's what fuels the vortex in the first place. And then there is a glyph for the air element, which means that there is expansion in your ideas, in your thoughts, in the processes, in the way you see things, the way you understand things. There's more, you're being more open-minded, more optimistic thoughts. And Taurus, you have that inflexible change, and I feel that you come out of that because, one thing I forgot to mention in that card with the inflexible change, if you see there is a snake in the picture, and it's a very bizarre snake. I've never seen a snake picture like that. It has two nostrils, like really big nostrils, and the bottom part of it looked like, there are some cracks on it. If you see, it doesn't look like a real snake. It looks like a statue of a snake for sure. And also we will see some cracks coming through. Like look at the top part of the eyes. Look at the face. You'll find some cracks. So it's like things being shaken up so that, when we're inflexible, we turn to crack. But those cracks open us up. And I feel that you will open up to change. And once you do that, this floodgate opens for you of new opportunities. Because I do feel that with that inflexible card, you will push to that extent that you recognize that there is a need for change. And once you take action on that and you upskill or do whatever needs to be done at that moment to update yourself, to remove resistance for change, you will be led into new territories for growth and expansion. It's like sometimes when we, sometimes we don't recognize the resources we have with us. But if you're able to see the value that whatever little you have, if you work with that, you can create growth and expansion for yourself. It's not about having too much to create much. It's about recognizing what you can do with the little that you have to create the growth that you need in your life. And if you need the help, if you need any help, then Jupiter energy, this Jupiter vortex is going to send you the help, the resources, the people, the information, the ideas, the mentors that you need at this point in time to get to that next level. So the universe will send that to you. Maybe you'll meet people along the way, some strangers. Maybe you're on a train, maybe you're on a plane, maybe you're in a shop, coffee shop, restaurant. You just start talking to random people. I've done that a lot. And, I have really learned a lot from those people. They'll just come there. They'll sit by you. They will share some experience of theirs. And that opens a new doorway. So that's not by chance. That's a synchronicity that has been created by this energetic vortex. So work with what you have. Embrace what's coming towards you. Embrace what's being sent towards you. Keep working at it. Be patient. Things are aligning. Things will take off for you. Things will work out for the greater good. Because this energy has been kicked off into motion, that you will experience that exponential growth, whether it's in your finances, maybe you get good interest rates, or maybe it's that you invested something into some stocks and shares in the past, and now you'll see a surge in those prices as well. So I do feel that whatever change is happening, whatever is growing, if it's finances, invested back meaningfully and wisely, don't blow it away. It is just, buying, purchasing high-ticket items that, are not going to benefit you later on, that will depreciate in price later on. So create that abundance. This is the time, this is the opportunity that Jupiter is giving you to create that abundance for yourself, to attract financial opportunities, to create that life of comfort and luxury that you have vision for yourself. Don't get lazy at this point in time, and don't think that the universe and, just having that luck or Jupiter in your corner will do everything for you and create the results. You have to work for it. So be very practical with your approach. Work on those practical details and create that foundation for yourself. Don't, just sit and wait like, okay, I've created this foundation now. I don't have to do anything. Don't rest on your laurels. Keep putting in the work. That's only when you will see the growth and expansion, because you are being put in the right place and this is the right time, right? Because the energy is backing you. It's you who runs with it, who has to run with that energy to create that brighter future for yourself. So this time, stay optimistic. If things were not working out before, things will start to work out. You just need to keep that faith. Jupiter is the guru. It's also a lot of philosophy, a lot of faith energy with Jupiter. So you will expand, you will grow, whether in finances, in your knowledge, whether through learning skills. And this is the cosmic energy which is supporting you through, maybe it's traveling and you're learning, or maybe you're educating yourself, or maybe you're advancing in your career and bringing in the growth and expansion. But think bigger. Doors are being opened for you. Things are going to multiply. Just have that faith, move forward. And, it's like that, in the tarot, there is a force card, which is a fool's energy, right? And that's energy I'm getting. Take that faith, because the universe got your back. The net will appear for you. And I'm not saying jump off the roof. I'm just saying if you were procrastinating, don't. Things will align, things will start to work out for you if they have not worked out in the past. And I know we all shy away from trying it the second time or the third time because we failed. But I feel that with this Jupiter energy and Jupiter in your corner, things will work out this time. The next card you have, Taurus, is the Ace of Seas. And it further says ecstasy. So aces are basically new beginnings. This is gifts from the divine. It's Seas, so this is the Ace of Cups, which is the new beginnings in your emotional landscape. Now, in the traditional decks, you'll find a cup which is overflowing with water. In this, because it's a goddess deck, so this is a goddess who's, of course, the goddess of the ocean, I would say. There is a seahorse out here. She is wearing a crown which is made of shells. There are beautiful pearls in that. And because she's the goddess of water, she owns that landscape. You know, the breadth, the length and breadth and depth of that, of the ocean. There is a beautiful shell on her forehead and her eyes are closed. Now, there's also a dot, a white dot, in between her brows, which reminds me of the moon. Now, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio are the water elements of the zodiac. So you might have displacement. It doesn't have to be. Further over here, it says spiritual and emotional beginnings, deep intuition, healing, psychic awakening, and pure unconditional love of the divine feminine. So, Taurus, and you are the feminine energy. You are the second house of the wheel. So I do feel that this is a moment for you to get to understand your inner world a little bit better right now, because I feel that with the Ace of Seas, there is also something about feeling through things, you know, feeling your way through things, not just logical, but also heart-based thinking, heart-based understanding. This is also an opportunity, actually. Aces are opportunities, new opportunities to work things out anew. You know, it's like renew things, which means wash away the old and bring in the new. This is also spirituality, spiritual connections, deeper spiritual connections, meditations, and things like that. It further says, you are being invited to remember that your greatest security lies in not what you hold in your hands, but in what you hold in your heart. Allow this gentle, powerful wave to soften your edges and open you to the profound beauty of feeling. Your sensitivity is not a weakness. It is your deepest strength and your direct line to the divine. Let yourself be held by this vast, loving ocean of spirit. Drink from this cup of new beginnings, and you will find a peace that no material possession could ever provide. So Taurus, you are the second house, which is earth element, about, you're more like earthy things. You're ruled by Venus. So you like those cozy, plush environments, clothing, food, arts, crafts, and things like that. And music and all the creative arts, they all come under the Venusian qualities. So some of you with this Ace of Cups energy, this is like, I don't feel it's just everything to do with your emotions, but emotions in the sense that you might be, having a house or a room makeover, like making things more, making your house or maybe your environment, maybe your backyard and things like that more aesthetic, more cozier, something that makes you feel comfortable, something that makes home a home, a sanctuary where we live. So some of you might be, renewing things on that front. This can also be about, because when we feel through things, we're able to understand ourselves much better. So So some of you might be feeling more connected to um, your heart space, working on your heart chakras. Some of you might be using a little bit of blues and greens and turquoise and red. There's a seahorse out there, red in color. So you might be welcoming those colors in your space, whether at your home or whether in your clothes and your wardrobe and things like that. You might be playing around with these colors as well. For some of you, this might be actual visits near the water, like taking more baths or visiting the beach. For those of you that are in the summer areas, you might be going to the beach. You might be going lakeside. The lakesides are even beautiful in the winters because lakes are frozen and there is more winter, I would say winter colors and winter ambiances and things like that. So some of you might be enjoying that as well. And of course, it's the holiday time coming up. So it's a great time to visit lakes and water bodies or just spend some casual time at the beach. But I feel that, this is like washing away your heart space, it's like giving a total cleanse. So you might be saging up your space, or you might be doing things to just, feel at ease, feel at calm. You do not want any turmoils. You just want peaceful connections. You want peaceful environments. Some of you might be into spirituality, new spiritual connections, using some, incorporating some spiritual practices. And there's tons of them out there. So either you're into Tai Chi, yoga, or just listening to calming music. There's so many calming music, mood uplifting musics of every frequency, and every frequency has a certain impact on our body. So some of you might be into that. This can also be about, I'm picking up an energy of a Taurus who's actually watching some kind of a movie and crying in that movie because of the climax and things like that. So take a tissue with you, Taurus, if you're going watching a heavy movie. Take a tissue with you. Okay, then feeling that Taurus, feeling like, sad and teary-eyed when they're watching some kind of movie. And nothing wrong with crying because it's a huge emotional release, so nothing wrong with that. And more so ever, I do feel that when I watch some kind of sentimental movies and when I associate, when it strikes a chord with my heart, it makes me cry as well. It makes me teary-eyed as well because, we understand the pain. So empathy, I feel you might be feeling more empathic towards people. And I also feel that, that kind of, it opens our eyes to the reality of situations, some situations. The messages that come through the movies, they are for real. So some of you might even associate yourself with the cause or do something about it or have those conversations in regards to those situations that are not so pleasant in the world. So some of you might be kind of working towards a cause, society cause, upliftment of people, and things like that. I tell you this, this calmness, this dance space that we all need in today's stressful times. I cannot even tell you how important this has become in the world. Like, over a period of like a few years, not too far back, maybe 5-7 years or something like that. That's how far back I know about it, where, a lot of offices, companies, corporate sports teams are actually incorporating these mindfulness and meditation practices in order to, de-stress the people, the workers, the players and things like that. So that's what this Ace of Seas is like, to introduce meditation practices in your life. So this could be in your personal life, you're doing it personally, like in your own individual lives, or this could be that you are doing it as part of a collective. I've seen a lot of companies, organizations incorporate these kind of meditation practices. So you might be, a part of that kind of team as well. Now, some of you might actually be going to aquariums or visiting the aquariums, studying up some aquatic life, or you might be bringing in some charms which have seahorse and sea turtles or shells and things like that. Or you might be designing something which has something to do with shells and seahorse, or, you know, something related to aquatic life, aquatic creativity, crafts work, or visiting aquariums, or even creating aquariums in your house, installing aquariums in other people's house. This can also be, you know, I have seen a lot of homes these days which are coming equipped with spa-like, you know, home features. So some of you might be into that as well, you know, spas and just relaxing, de-stressing, detoxifying. Or you might be visiting spas, which is a great idea. I totally enjoy visiting spas. And there's a lot of other, you know, water therapies which are available today, like, you know, soaking tubs are there, floating pools are there, koi ponds are there. There's so many ways that we can, you know, be by the water, even if you're not living by the ocean or by a river or something like that. Even within the house, there is so many ways. Water fountains, inside the house or outside the house, or you know, there's even just yeah, there's some music also there is which creates those rainfall music, flowing water music, streams of music, and that's so relaxing. I just love listening to that, you know, just water flowing or just the rain. Sometimes I just enjoy it. So some of you might be taking to that as well. You know, also a lot of countries are into this kind of healing, like community healing, like through water bodies. I have seen actually real estate builders, they will create some kind of a water body in the between or somewhere in the side or somewhere where people can just hang out by the water. You might be actually visiting some kind of fishing, or you might be into fishing. You might be visiting some ponds or lakes where you actually do fishing. Or you're swimming, or you're having some pool parties or something like that. If you know that Iceland as a country does that, and it's really growing in popularity, they have those community pools and spas, you know, which is growing and growing. So they realize, you know, the countries, and it's expanding to a lot of other countries and communities and cities as well, where people are starting to recognize the importance of washing away burdens through water, and water does that for sure. You can also try using salt baths while you're showering, or you can use some gel, what you call the gel soaps and things like that. Maybe something that is infused with essential oil, something which is, and you know, I've seen so many advertisements where they create this beautiful ambience in the bathrooms or in the shower tubs or in the shower rooms where there is mild lighting, or even tubbing, you know, there's salt baths, and then there's what do you call, rugs that has like shells and fishes on it. People like want to use that in their bathroom or shower places and things like that. Or you know, just having some diffusers and just mild music while you're showering, bathing, tubbing, whatever that is for you. Some of you might be into that as well. And I tell you, this therapy, this water therapy is so uplifting. It actually, if you feel lighter. I mean, of course you feel lighter because, you know, I mean, in general, when we go swimming, you know, how does our skin wrinkle away? And we start to feel so much lighter. The head feels lighter. I do feel like I'm still floating. Even when I come out of the pool, I feel so light. I feel like all the water in my body has been squeezed out or something like that. But I start to feel lighter. And some of you might even start to feel lighter, whether it's because you're swimming or spending too much time in the water or out of the water, but you will start to feel a sense of calm and zen, like a weight lifted off your chest and things like that. So great energy here. And the last card for today, Taurus, you have the deep dark sea mermaid, and it further says find solutions in the unknown places, in the darkness. And further it says number 16. So the number 1, 6, and 7 is coming through strong with this energy. Now, it further says your greatest security will not be found by building higher walls, but by having the courage to explore the hidden chambers within your own fortress. yeah, hidden chambers within your fortress, in your home. Maybe you're trying to find something that you lost, and that's quite possible that you'll find it in some area which has not been attended to for a long time. Maybe it's under the bed somewhere where there is lack of light. Maybe in closed, what you call the storage space, or maybe it's picking up an energy that some Taurus out there forgot something, lost something, and is not able to find it. But if you look in the dark nooks and corners, you might find it over there under the bed, especially where there is lack of light. And I feel that's the energy over here. It further says trust the process of not knowing. And I'm picking up on that as well. Like, you're okay with not knowing the answers. You're okay with just, taking it one day at a time, going with the flow. You are not like, and I also feel that you are, you're okay with not having the answers like right away. And at the same time, you are okay with um, exploring, like, exploring, introspecting, and then kind of having those aha moments, or a solution speak to you that you like, something that you like. So I do feel that, it's like something inside of you, yeah, your thoughts. Like when we're, what's that term called as shower thoughts? When we're like that idea that pops into our head, especially when we are just, relaxed, washing away our worries and having a shower, tap bath, and suddenly a aha moment, or a bright idea just comes to us. So the point here is about sleeping on things, like not rushing into things. Just by sleeping on it, you will figure something out, whether it's at work, whether it's something to do in your personal life, at home, anything. So sleep on the idea, sleep on the question, and then in a bit, like in a day or two, you will be able to figure it out. So now I'm also picking up, it says trust the process of not knowing, which I already pick up an energy that you're okay with that, because it says your intuition is the most reliable compass in these waters. Yeah, this reminds me of a incident that I was reading about when, they were a group of hikers that went for hiking of course, and then um, there was no network over there. They lost the network, and one or two of them, their phones powered off, and they had they couldn't rely on the maps. They didn't have a map to find their way back. But then somehow they figured it out, by speaking with each other, by trusting their instincts and things like that. So they were able to find their way back. And that's amazing. Like, when you're hiking on the mountain and, you kind of lost your way, or in a place where there is no map or something like that, where the GPS is not available, specifically in these times, and then you're losing the way, it's kind of scary. But then, people figured it out, and I was like amazed. Like, it was amazing. I feel that it's associated with this kind of energy, especially the card is saying over here. And so Ifolur says the darkness is not empty, it is full of stars waiting to be discovered. And if you see in the picture, there is this mermaid, she is there in the dark, deep waters. It's her space. She owns it. And she's just lost in thought, she's thinking about something. She's not crying, there's no tears. She's not afraid. She's just staring, looking for answers, trying to run some ideas in her mind and seeing, what might click. There's also sparks of, shiny objects that are around her, lighting. So it doesn't feel like a scary ghost town out there, even though it's a dark picture. But so I do feel that there is something that you will figure out, something valuable. It says it is full of stars, waiting to be discovered stars. If you see star, it's accomplishments, it's growth, it's our mission, our purpose. It's our, the North Star kind of a vibe where, you're guided and you figure it out. And And if you see, there is a oyster which is open out there, and there is a pearl, tiny pearl, if you can see it through the image. This is the pearl that you will discover. It's waiting for you. You see the irony of this picture is this girl is looking somewhere else, and the pearl is right next to her on the side of her. So once she gets up from that position where she's resting her arm and she looks around like a tad bit, she will figure that pearl out. So lastly, it says all you have to do is be brave enough to go and find it. So there is a pearl waiting for you in the dark. Now, some of you might be scuba divers, getting your hands on some treasures. This reminds me very strongly of like about a month or two back, I was reading about this archaeologist that I follow, and her name is Dr. Kathleen Martinez. You guys can look it up as well. And she figured out something very interesting. And actually, when I read that article, it gave me goosebumps. She was actually searching for the tomb of Cleopatra. And it's so interesting that she thinks that Cleopatra was buried at the temple, which was a temple of Isis, goddess Isis. And there is a movie which is made on this topic. It's called Cleopatra's Final Secret. For those of you interested in history, you can go watch the movie. It's called Cleopatra's Final Secret. And this lady that I'm talking about, Kathleen Martinez, she's not an archaeologist. She was a criminal lawyer, and she went in to uncover this. And she made huge revelations. And I think, it's amazing how history can still be uncovered from the depths of water. So I think it's that kind of a situation here. Now, for some of you, I'm also picking up an energy of renovating dark spaces, which means that you might have some basements where you're cleaning up, putting some lights, or, nowadays there's a concept of people discovering those, dungeons or bunkers, whatever you can call it, and they are actually reconstructing that as some beautiful homes on Airbnbs and things like that. So some of you could be clearing up dark spaces and finding something or making it functional again, or putting it to some kind of use is also what I'm picking up. And that could be your pearl here, Taurus. Now, the imagery, it reminds me of the makeup artist. This mermaid's makeup actually reminds me of a makeup artist, and her name is Pat McGrath. And I'm pretty sure all of you or most of you know about her. She is the leading runway makeup artist that there is. And I really appreciate her style. It's very otherworldly, and she uses so many colors, some dark, some deep, and different textures. And she creates beauty which is like, coming from a dreamland. It's beautiful. It's amazing how she creates those looks on the runway. It reminds me of that. So some of you could be learning makeup or artistry that's a little bit, on that side. If you don't know about her, check Pat McGrath. I'm pretty sure you will love her makeup artistry for sure. Now, if it's not about makeup, it could be fashion that you are trying to create something different, deconstructing some kind of with darker elements, maybe something related to the sea or shells, or kind of innovating, mixing up or evolving some kind of a gothic or unknown kind of a vibe, like something which is like a mix of multiple fashion trends. Some of you could be into that as well. Now, some of you can be like, attending some retreat camps and things like that. so that, you're able to calm your mind, sit with your thoughts and things like that. So that helps as well. To figure things out. To some of you may be into that mode as well. And, for sure, journaling helps a lot. To some of you might be into that as well. Or something, investing into something which is deep. Investing into something which is deep is also what I'm picking up on now. That deep could be different and it will be different for each one of you. What is deep? Are you into minerals or resources, or something which is found and in the depth of the earth or depth of water, or something you're investing something into deep, or it could be into a deeper subject, or it could be into something which is deep and meaningful for the society. It could be that as well. Yeah, that's what I'm picking up on. Now, further on here it says, the darkness is not your enemy. It is the womb of your rebirth. The most valuable treasures are always found in the deepest caves. So here we go. Finding things, solutions, ideas, treasures, answers, whatever that is for you, Taurus. Something brilliant comes out of unknown places, unknown spaces, unknown territories. Maybe you're in an unknown territory. Maybe you've shifted your place. You're in a different area than what you're familiar with. It could be that. But if that's your story, if you move to an unknown territory, unknown place, unknown city, unknown country that you're not familiar with, there is some pull that is waiting for you, some brilliant idea that you will get, something that you will be, it might push you a little bit or to the, it might push you a little bit to the edges. You might feel a little bit like out of your comfort zone, but I feel that something positive will come out of being in that unfamiliar territory. And don't be afraid, you will figure things out. You'll be able to work things out. And if you're not in unknown places, you might be in unknown situations. Like maybe you're trying to solve a complex situation at work and you're just not able to figure out the answer. You've been sitting hours trying to figure it out. If that's your situation, if it's an accounting problem, if it's a complex problem, you will be able to figure it out soon. And last but not the least, those of you who are interested in the movie trivia, you can watch the movie Arrival. That is related to this energy. There is I'm going to tell you specifically which one. It's Dr. Louise Banks, who is a linguist, and how she goes into the deep dark sea, and she talks to aliens, and there's so much going on in that movie. I totally loved it, and it's a very strong association with this energy. So for those of you who like that part of movie trivia, this is for you. The movie is Arrival. Arrival. Okay? So, Taurus, those were your messages and hope you enjoyed them. So, thank you guys for joining. Please subscribe and hit the like if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye for now.